Welcome to another episode of Wheel of Horror, the podcast where two best friends spin a wheel once a week, it chooses the movie, and they discuss it. Today we're talking about the 1976 film The Omen, which was directed by Richard Donner. I am Alec.
I'm Eric.
And Erik. This is this is another one of our childhood kind of classic horror movie growing up sort of movies.
Oh yeah. For me, dude. There was a time in middle school where I wasn't like a Satanist or anything, but I watched this a lot. I think it's a brilliant film. I really love this movie. It's a great story. I like the religious aspect of it. I think it's really, really cool.
If there's all right, straight off the bat, first reaction. What's your favorite thing about this movie?
The last shot. The last shot where Damien is holding hands with the president. And it has that like 5 seconds, and then he smiles. It's like, oh, goosebumps. Even the time I just watched it today, goosebumps, and the kid nailed it.
You ready for a little bit of trivia I found out about that? So apparently, the kid's name was Harvey Spencer Stevens, and he was apparently kind of like a little shit. That's what got him the role. He kicked Richard Donner in the balls, apparently, and that's what made Richard Donner like, all right, give him the role. God damn it. Because they were rehearsing. They're like, so basically what it was is he got the role, and then Richard Donner was like, I just don't think this kid has it, sort of thing. He had like blonde hair. He's like, I don't see it. So they had the scene where they go into the church, when he freaks out. They're like, I want to do a rehearsal of that to see how he does. And he kicked Richard Donner in the balls while they were doing it. He's like, all right, yeah, give this kid the scene.
This kid's definitely the son of the devil.
Anyway, so back to your point. With the smile, apparently what was happening was they didn't want him to smile. And
I knew that. I knew this.
Oh, okay.
But keep going.
So they're watching him, and you hear the director apparently was like, Harvey, don't you smile. Harvey, don't you smile. And he literally couldn't keep it together. I think that's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, two things make this movie. That one shot, the last shot of Damien smiling, and the music.
Oh yeah, the music.
The music those are my two favorite parts.
The music, it immediately is what draws you in. It's so loud too that you're kind of just like, oh my god. It's like that 70s kind of like music where it's just like, it's like almost too loud. You have to like turn your TV down when it comes on, sort of thing.
Yeah, it spikes. It's like oh, they're singing too loud where the levels are too high. That theme is probably the only theme that still scares me as an adult. Like if I'm driving and that comes up on shuffle on my phone, I'm turning it. Like I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
It's something very spiritually creepy about that song.
Well, it's a Gregorian chant, I guess, is what you'd probably call it. And that's very primal to like humans kind of thing, just like your guttural sounds coming out. And then there's Latin to it. Yeah, it's creepy as hell, dude. It won an Academy Award for best.
What was Jeff? Who is it?
It's Jerry Goldsmith.
Jerry Goldsmith, right? He did Poltergeist, Alien, Rambo.
Oh wow,
Gremlins. He's done a ton of movies, and he was nominated like 8 times.
Oh, he won.
This one.
He won.
He didn't show up to the Oscars though. He straight up was like, I'm not going. And
well,
he won. He's like, oh shit, I should have been there.
Okay, yeah, because this is probably like a Leo situation where everyone's like, he'll get it one day, and then he gets it, and he's like, whatever. But yeah, he won an Oscar for that, the only Oscar for Best Original Score, which, I mean, very well deserved. Yeah, the music, obviously amazing. Dude, the acting, too. Like, Gregory Peck is fantastic in this movie. I mean, both the parents are just, like, brutal. I mean, not brutal. Their acting is so believable. The woman that's brutal is that Baylock woman.
The like servant of hell.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, she kind of reminds me of Frances McDormand a little bit, but that's the only part of this movie where I'm like, yo, like, you guys aren't looking into this lady, like, at all?
Hello, I'm the creepy housekeeper. I'm here to help Damien, and I work for free. It's like, okay,
yeah, and she just shows up, and she basically fights them on every single. They're like, we don't want a dog here. It's like, we want a son dressed. Like the simplest request. She's like, no, I'm gonna fight you.
Yeah.
Creepy.
There's a lot of that stuff. I back to Gregory Peck. I love Gregory Peck. Atticus Finch from To Kill a Mockingbird, Cape Fear, the original one. He's in a bunch of stuff. Passed away in 2003. I remember when he passed away. I just watched Moby Dick miniseries thing that he was in. I loved watching that as a kid, where he plays like he doesn't play like Captain Ahab again, which he played back in the day. But I always liked Gregory Peck. I think he has like a very like moral voice, if that makes any sense. Like,
well,
you have good morals. Like,
well, he got he does kind of seem like that guy, but he got into acting apparently because his voice was so, like, booming that people were just like, "This
Prominent.
guy
Yeah.
needs we need this guy to, like, just be on everything, talking and stuff."
Mhm.
Yeah, he does a
Mhm.
very clear, nice speaking voice. I think it's funny though, I was like, "Damn, he's old as hell." I mean, like, obviously, he was born in 1916, but, his wife is, like, 20 years younger than him, and still, like, Gregory Peck is, like, 60 in this, and she's, like, 40 or whatever, but they're just having kids?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you get that a bit. Like, you think, like, wouldn't this role go to someone a little younger? But then you gotta think he's an ambassador to Great Britain, usually, like, older people in politics, so it kind of, I guess, adds up. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, he could have been playing younger than his actual age, but it is
Yeah,
very
true.
it's just like, I remember the scene where it's just like, "Well, she can still have children." It's like, "Does she wanna have kids? She's, like, 40." Like, why do you guys wanna have any more kids?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so, but I know, I love obviously, the acting in this movie is just great, and the guy from Titanic and Twin Peaks,
Oh, yeah, what the hell's his name?
the photographer, what's his name? David Warner.
Right, yes, he played Lovejoy in Titanic, yeah.
Yeah, dude, I loved his character. He's so, like, smarmy and just kind of, like, early tabloid kinda
Mhm.
asshole kinda guy.
He's what you wanted the priest to be, the priest that shows up like a bat out of hell, like, "You need to, like, love God, like, give in to God," and it's like, "Okay, who's this guy?" And the photographer's like, "Hey, I wanna show you some photos.
Right.
I'm gonna take you to brunch. We're gonna talk about this, and then I'm gonna tell you to kill your kid." Like, it's like a slow roll where
Yeah.
the priest it's like, that's what we needed, a middle ground, you know? The
Yeah.
priest just comes in like, "You need to kill your son," and
"Your
it's like,
wife's
"Okay,
going
what?"
to die," and
He's
he's
like,
got,
"Yeah,
like,
his mother was a," and it cuts out. I love that scene too, where he's, like, about to say dog or jackal or
jackal.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
"His mother was a ja," and then it just cuts him off. I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right, he's got these bug eyes, he's crazy, he's running after him all the time. You're right, we need that kinda like, "Listen, dude,
"Listen, I'm gonna smoke a cigarette. We're gonna talk. We're gonna
like,
talk."
look at these pictures." I love how the police, when they go into his, the priest's apartment, it's all covered in the pages from the Bible,
Yeah.
and he's like, "The police thought he was crazy, so they just gave me his key." I'm like, "That would fucking never happen."
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's a few things that like, I wish that didn't happen, but very realistic, and that's the point of the movie. This movie is like, it's very spiritually religious, but
Mm.
it doesn't have anything in it that makes you go, "This couldn't happen in real life."
The moment where it really scared me, the real moment is obviously when the photographer's head gets cut off, but that moment, dude, I'm imagining what Gregory Peck must be feeling. His wife just died. He's been getting
Right.
all these premonitions. This is the only other dude who believes him, who's working with him, and then he immediately gets killed. In Gregory Peck's mind in that moment, it just must be like, I am so alone and this is so scary. Holy shit, I have to do this.
Well, he doesn't even that doesn't sell him yet. What sells him is
The
the
scar.
birthmark, the
Right.
mark, which I think this movie was gonna be called either The Birthmark or The Mark
Yeah,
originally.
you're right.
But that's when he's like, "Okay, this kid's going." And before that, he's like, I need to know if there's the," and he finds it, and that's it's a brilliant film, honestly.
Yeah, I know. Ugh, I don't wanna say this, I don't wanna say this. I've loved this movie, it's really great, but dude, you're gonna tell me that they never saw that scar? Come on. Come
I
on.
mean, there are some kids that come out with, like, a full head of hair. I didn't really get a look at the baby they had at the beginning of the
Yeah.
movie, the show Baby Damien, but there are kids that come out with, like, full heads of hair, so maybe
You know what?
that, or maybe it didn't appear right away.
That's
Maybe
what
it
I was
appears
thinking.
after he grows his hair. I don't know.
I know, I was trying to justify it in my mind because I was like, "You know what? Like, why aren't the devil people, like this Miss Baylock and the Rottweiler, they all appear on his, like, 5th birthday or 6th birthday or whatever it is." So I was like,
Mhm.
maybe the scar was, like, hidden and then came out on his birthday, then the Rottweiler comes, then Miss Baylock comes, then his nanny kills himself, and then the shit starts going down. Maybe it didn't matter until he was 6? I don't know. I was trying to think his birthday might have sparked all of this kinda shit. Because the
Like,
only other
maybe after his baby teeth fell out, maybe that's when it shows
Yeah,
up. Who knows? Maybe
yeah.
there's stuff we don't know about. That guy with the sticks with, I mean, the knives, he would know.
Yeah, for sure, the guy in
Yeah.
that, like, city. Well, alright, so I wanna ask you this, in the beginning, the first scene, is that priest because I'm assuming Gregory Peck is, like, some Roman,
Mhm.
diplomat or whatever, and that's why they're in Rome, and his wife has the baby, they think it dies. Is that priest he's gotta be evil then, that guy.
100%.
And
100%. And I think also the priest that comes to warn the priest that gets impaled, he was evil too at one point. He was in that church when that happened. So he was a Satanist. And then he's trying to cleanse his soul, and he's saying, "Hopefully God can forgive me," by stopping him.
God damn it. So, alright, so when
So
he
these priests literally killed his kid that wasn't a stillborn, like
Oh,
shot
no.
the baby in the
Oh,
head
no.
and buried it with the jackal. horrifying stuff.
Yeah.
And then like tricked him into adopting Damien.
Ugh.
Bad, bad.
Dude.
Not priests.
Right. So that's the thing. Like he tricked me in the beginning. I forgot about that, and I was just like, wow, like that's like whatever, okay. And then when you see the baby, the skeleton with the hole in its head, you're just like, holy
That
shit.
yeah, yeah.
Like,
That scene's
holy
crazy.
this is really brutal. And the yeah,
Dark.
the jackal, you also think like, okay, I know you have like this pack of Rottweilers protecting it, but like, that's really easy for anybody to get into like the
Yeah.
also, why'd they even bury the baby? Why didn't they just like throw it away somewhere?
I don't know. And
Yeah.
you'd think that they would dispose of it that way, but I think they had to bury the mother. So I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, no, I guess there's a couple things I did miss. Another kind of interesting behind the scenes trivia here, not trivia, but you remember obviously the scene with the monkeys freaking out on the car at the
Yeah,
safari?
the baboons.
Dude, first of all, could you imagine like a place in Hartford? It's like, yeah, just roll your windows up. Make sure you keep your windows up when you're driving past the monkeys, and there's no fences or anything. Like, never would happen. But anyways,
Yeah, keep your hands inside the vehicle for real this time.
yeah,
Like
it's like seriously, your own car, full with food. There's monkeys freaking out. But anyways, so you know how they got the shot of the baboons all freaking out?
I've read this. They
Okay.
didn't you go.
So they tranked one of the monkeys,
Like the head
and
monkey, like the queen bee monkey, right?
yeah. Well, I don't well, apparently what it was they're very territorial, they were very family oriented, this pack of baboons, and they tranked one of them, I don't know who it was, and they put it in the trunk of that car, and all the baboons lost their goddamn minds, which they should. Like, obviously, like, could you imagine, an alien race comes and just takes one of us, we're like, "Dude, get him!" And we, like, run over that.
Yeah.
But that was the thing, like, that could you imagine nowadays, like, PETA being like, "You tranked a monkey, put it in the car, and had other monkeys try to save it, and then filmed it." It's like,
Yeah. I
yeah.
mean, I've mentioned this before about the director. He's very conscious about the animals, so much as that, the fishbowl when it falls,
Yeah,
when she's like has that awesome shot of her falling off the balcony down the stairs or
right.
whatever, and there's the shot of the fishbowl smashing and the fish like flopping.
Yeah.
They painted some orange things and did not have an actual fish for the flopping for a second, then they put it right back in. So like
Okay,
they did not kill a goldfish even for this film.
that's great, but the tranking of the monkey, the
That's a lot.
trauma.
That's a lot.
'Cause, like, okay, first of all, if these monkeys are, like, smart enough to, like, obviously have a tribe and they have, like, a hierarchy system, they're like, "Alright, that guy's the leader," and then
We're going there. You want to go into this?
No, 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 I think it's interesting that, like, you could never do something like that now,
No,
and then,
no.
we were talking about Pet Sematary a few weeks ago, and that's '89. I feel like '90 was, like, the cutoff. They're like, "Yo, you gotta treat animals like royalty in these movies now."
Yeah, you can't even use dead carcasses and stuff. Like yeah,
Yeah, but up until, like, remotely recently, you could, Vicodin cats and trank
oh yeah,
monkeys, lock them in trunks and stuff, like, you could do whatever the hell you wanted, it seemed like.
yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was interesting that and the actress was scared out of her mind during that shot.
The
She's like,
director's like, keep
yes.
rolling,
She's like,
keep rolling, and she's like,
"Richard! Richard!" Just
like
kicking the
breaks the
windows.
window. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, seriously, though, and the little kid's in there, and the parents are watching the kid. It's just like, is this safe?" It's like,
Keep
"Shut up."
rolling. Keep rolling.
Yeah.
Like, she's really screaming for help. Keep rolling.
Yeah. No, it is interesting, and then the director goes on to do The Goonies, which is just hilarious. So he goes
Yeah,
from this to The Goonies, but
polar opposite.
yeah.
But it has the in the front. It's like the Omen, the Goonies.
Mm, mm.
Same amount of syllables, same movie. Honestly,
Yeah, very similar, lots of similarities. Yeah, it's not as scary as I remember, though. I
no.
remember it freaking me out when I was a kid a lot more.
The music is the scariest part, and then that last shot of Damien. It's like, what's he gonna do next? And I don't know if you ever seen the Omen too.
Oh, yeah.
Not my thing. Not my thing.
I
Wasn't a fan of
actually
it.
didn't hate it. I didn't hate the second one. He's in, like, a military school, right? And he's, like, kinda
Yeah.
bullied, and,
hmm
he's not, like, the bad guy really in that one either. He's, like, a brat, but he's, like, doesn't really know what's going on.
Well, any kid. How old is he in the Omen? He's 4 or 5, you'd
I think
say?
he's
3,
5, I
4,
think.
5. Any kid who has a Billy Madison birthday party like that is gonna be the son of the devil anyway someday. Like that kid is so spoiled.
They
He has
say
a
that.
merry-go-round and everything. It's like, come on.
Well, they say that in that's what the David Warner character says, like,
Yeah,
when he's taking the
it's ridiculous.
pictures. He's like, "Is this
Yeah.
the inheritance of the thorn money or the next coming of Christ or whatever?" Like,
Yep.
they
Yep.
mm,
Yeah, and that's a nice little twist he put in there too. Like,
Yeah.
not the Christ, the Antichrist, but yeah.
Well, so, I mean, obviously, you and I are the, huge South Park fans, and they've in the first season, they have that Damien episode, and
Mhm.
I wonder if that character is based off of Damien too, like the Omen 2.
I'd say the second one more, yeah.
Yeah, because he barely talks in this one,
Mhm. Have you
and,
ever met a Damien? I have once. I've met a Damien. Spelt the
uh,
same way with the A too.
I don't think I have.
Well, not
Yeah,
a
I
very
mean
popular name, probably just because of this movie.
dude, I was thinking not even just that name, but, like, adoption in general. People are probably like, "Is your kid the Antichrist? Like, where did you adopt him again?" It's just like, I
Well,
don't
no,
know.
this movie came up with Damien as the name. That was just a normal name.
Yeah, no, I know, but I'm saying, like, I think, like, obviously, this name that n from now on, that name is gonna be, related to the
Yeah.
film,
Oh, yeah.
but
That's
then
what I'm saying.
also, I'm saying, like, in 1976, this movie kind of, like, I wouldn't say sheds the best, like, light on adoption, where it's just like,
No, no, yeah, that's a good point too. It definitely like it's like, what if this son is,
I mean,
oh,
you have to be pretty crazy to think that, but, like, at the same
yeah,
point,
yeah,
you know?
100%. But
Yeah.
no, that's a good point. It doesn't make it look good.
No,
Doesn't make the church look good either, because they're
oh my
evil
god.
priests. I mean, stuff like that for sure.
What was the other oh, yeah, the Rottweilers, dude. Those, are friggin' terrifying, but apparently the scene in the graveyard when they were attacking them, they had a lot of trouble getting them off. Like,
Yeah, because aren't they like licking the face and stuff and just having fun? And they
n
weren't even really
n
terrors at all.
no, 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 no,
Oh, they were?
dude, the opposite, yeah, so apparently the stunt people, they were, like, pretty nervous, but
Oh,
they
damn.
tried it once, and they were like, "No, no, we need to get, like, steel, wool, we need to get all this other stuff because these guys are really aren't fucking around." And then one of the scenes, I think when he was, like, trying to climb, the guy that was David Warner's, stunt double was trying to climb up, and they could not get the dog off his
Oh,
leg
F that.
when they were
Yeah,
yelling,
that's,
"Cut," like
ugh.
and yeah, it was really bad apparently. It was one of the few times where they were just like, "We could not control the animals on set for that scene." Man, I mean, because I'm trying to imagine, dude, like, if you're a pack of dogs, like, I'm sure they're in this, like, group mentality where they're like, "Just get this guy," sort of thing. They're not acting, like, like, that's a scary scene.
Yeah, I'm sure the dogs are trained, unlike the baboons, which they just went rogue. It's like,
Oh,
it's like, imagine the baboons were like gorillas or something,
oh my god.
like, done.
Flip the car, yeah, like, you know, Harambe before Harambe.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Harambe.
you've seen the remake, right?
I actually dude, I saw that midnight show on June 6th, 2006.
Okay. So I want to hear all about that, but I think that is brilliant marketing to have it coming out on June
Oh,
6th.
yeah.
Oh, like I remember the poster was
Yep.
like 6606, but they're
I still
all
have I still have the ticket stub somewhere. Yeah, I saw it in Plainville.
why did you just really like this one? You're like, I want to see what they do.
I wanted to see if they did anything different, and I was very interested, and this was, like, the time when I love this movie. I think it's brilliant. It was a shot for shot to the goldfish falling, to Damien smiling, everything was a
Yeah.
shot for shot remake. There was nothing different that I can even think of. That's what I didn't like it. I was like, "I wanted something a little different."
Yeah, I think I did see it with my mom in theaters too, and I was not like that excited. And then I remember leaving the theater and being like, I felt the same way. I was like, I don't feel like this added anything.
Nothing. Nothing.
And yeah, I didn't really walk away feeling the same way about it as enthusiastic, really.
Also, like, Julia Stiles was in that movie, and I was like, "What is she how did they get her? It's so random."
Right, and then Liev Schreiber is Gregory
Terrible
Peck character.
casting, I think.
Yeah, I don't really know. I don't even know who I'd really want. It's this movie's kinda so timeless because of the actors that are in it, so it's hard to imagine.
Yeah. Also, 1976, there's just a different time for filmmaking too.
Yeah.
I just think it's way cooler.
Yeah, and I mean, this has been beaten to death, but obviously, like, the '70s was very demon a lot of demon
Mhm,
movies coming
mhm.
out. You've got Rosemary's Baby in the late '60s kinda kicking it off, and then obviously The Exorcist, and then
Yeah.
this. I mean, The Exorcist 2 came out a couple years I don't know if it came out right after this one, but, yeah, demons were, like, popular at the time.
Yeah, and it was back when, like, these types of movies were very popular in, like, the awards. Like, now it's like The Conjuring and all that. It's like they would never see anything, like,
Mm,
awards-wise, like, Oscar worthy.
but well, no, I mean, Get Out got
Get Out,
nominated
yeah, well, that's, like, the only horror movie I can think of
recently.
recent. Yeah,
Yeah, well, this didn't get nominated for anything, I don't think, aside from, best score, I don't think,
right,
but
right.
it is,
But
like
Exorcist is, like, the other one I was just bringing up, like, that movie killed it in the Academy Awards.
Oh, yeah. No, so Academy Awards, yeah, it only got nominated for Best Score and Best Song. And you know what's funny, man? The best song, I'm assuming, is the, like, Rectus, but the
Ominous.
yeah, but the score is actually amazing too, dude, because like, it's so intense. Like, the one scene that
Mhm.
really stood out to me that, like, made the score, I think, make the movie work is when Baylock is attacking Gregory Peck at the end with the scissors and all that stuff. Dude, that scene, I was, like, watching it, and I was actually watching it, I was, like, pretending the music wasn't happening. I was like, "This would suck if their music wasn't in it," but the music is
Yeah.
so 'cause she, like, pushes him into the refrigerator, and then they're, like, I'm like, first of all, I know this is a demon woman, but, like, come on, like Gregory Peck, just throw her on the ground. What are we doing? But that music is so intense, like really like piercing the whole time. And you're just like, oh shit, like this is way scarier simply because of the music and the dog's freaking out in the basement.
Mhm.
Yeah, really good stuff. Really like
Well,
that.
I think that that's part of it too, is that Gregory Peck wasn't still not 100% in on taking out Damien yet, so he wasn't really gonna hurt the servant yet
But
either.
she's got a fucking knife to his
Then
neck.
then I think then he's like, "Okay, we're going down the path now fully." And then
Eric.
that's another thing I think is so great about having Gregory Peck play this part is because he's such like a it's like there are people that grew up watching him as Atticus Finch in To Kill a Mockingbird, and now he's like about to kill a little it's like, whoa, polar opposite of acting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, he does still keep that like regal sense to him, and just
But
really
yeah.
my favorite like little acting moment I think of his, the believable moment is when him and his wife are gonna have sex, and he kind of walks over there, he's waving to the kid, and then shuts it, and like I don't know, I believed that moment for some reason. He's like, I think you're too
Yeah.
sexy for the White House. Like I was just like, ooh,
Yeah, I always thought the cheesiest part of it was when he got the knives that whole time, and then he throws the knives, and then the guy gets killed. He's just like, "No," and he like hits his head. No, but this movie also did very well in the box office. It cost about 3 million to make, and Gregory Peck took a pretty decent pay cut to make this film. But he also made a deal where he would get 10% of the box office if it was successful,
huh.
and it's the most he ever made from one film. We're talking this movie made about 60 million in the box office, so decent payday for back then.
I mean, even if he got what 10%, that would be
6 million,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, that's pretty great. Yeah, no, that's smart. A lot of times it's such a gamble, but like if it pays off,
The
um,
biggest one is probably Alec Guinness that I can think of, right?
yeah, I don't think
From
Donald
Star
Pleasance,
Wars.
he didn't do that, so Alec Guinness did, yeah. That's nuts. Somebody must have told. I
Does he
feel
he's
like
pro like, does he still is it just off of A New Hope, or does he make it off of the entire Star Wars franchise?
I don't know, but I wanna believe that, like, that's literally like a Back to the Future 2
Yeah.
moment where, like, somebody, like, came back was like, "Alec, you have to, like" he's like, "What are you talking about?" Like, sort of thing. He's like, "No, no, no."
Renegotiate my contract,
He's
this
like,
makes
"No, no,
no
no,
sense.
shut up." Like,
This
sort of
movie's gonna tank,
he's
like
just like, "I'm telling you right now, your family forever is set if you do." It's like, all right," like sort of thing. I serious. Could you imagine? It's like like one of those
Yeah.
sports almanac Back to the Future moments.
No, it's like, "I'm Alec Guinness's, like, great-great nephew, and I'm a billionaire." It's great, like
Yeah. Seriously, he goes back to the future or back to the past and tells Alec Guinness, he's like, just shut up. I'm your great fucking grandson. We're gonna lose everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but that's smart though for Gregory Peck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he really wanted to do the role. But, yeah, one other thing I wanted to bring up, you've heard about the, curse that was known for this movie, right?
A little bit. I know. Yeah, you tell it though.
So all this stuff. So a lot of spooky things kind of happened while filming this movie and in post production. I'll read off some things. Gregory Peck and the screenwriter took separate planes in the UK. Both planes were struck by lightning. Producer was almost hit by lightning. The Rottweilers hired for the film, we talked about this, attacked their trainers. A hotel which director Richard Donner was staying at got bombed by the IRA. He was also struck by a car. Gregory Peck canceled another flight to Israel, and that other plane crashed, killing everyone on board. On the first day of the shoot, several members of the crew survived a head-on car crash. And in post-production, one of the special effects artists, John Richardson, was injured, and his girlfriend was beheaded in an accident on the set of A Bridge Too Far.
Do you know like what that guy's role in the film was?
No,
He
no.
was the guy that did the special effects for the guy's head getting cut off.
Oh shit. Okay, that's creepy.
So
That's
his
a different
I don't know if
layer.
it was his girlfriend, but it was somebody in the car with him, and that's what happened. They were driving, and then this thing
Yeah.
decapitated the person he was with, and he was the guy that created that special
That
effect.
that's very popular scene in the movie.
Yeah.
That's, yeah, it's a lot of, like
You
that's,
missed
like it's almost I missed one.
you
What'd
missed
I
a
miss?
big one, dude. Gregory Peck's son, like, kind of unexpectedly died, like, in
Oh,
the middle of this, and, his agent was like, "Hey, like, you should finish the movie because you're gonna spiral if you don't," sort of thing, and there's that scene where when Gregory Peck finds out his wife dies, I've heard that that was
well,
pretty
method acting,
it was,
like,
like, recent after he found out his son died, so he put a lot into
mhm.
that of just, like, knowing what that feels like to know, like, your kid just died.
Yeah, there's a lot of little not little, but a lot of things that happen making this film to make it stand out, like, yeah, a lot of creepiness with the film revolving around the son of the devil, and, yeah,
Poltergeist
that's a thing. Yeah, Poltergeist is another
and The
very
Exorcist.
notorious.
Yeah, a lotta
That's another one, dude, it's like, don't dabble in that sometimes. I mean, I kinda believe it, it might not, but it's very creepy.
it is.
Little bit too coincidental, but a little too not at the same time.
I do think that, like, if you are a horror fan and you have not seen this, you have to see this movie.
Mhm.
It's I mean
One of my favorites. One of my favorites, I'd say.
yeah, I mean, if you're gonna go with quintessential possession movie, go with The Exorcist, I'd say every time, but if you're looking for another one in the same realm, same time period, this is a nice little follow-up, if you're in the mood for demon movies.
Mhm. This
World.
one's not a possession one. This
That's true.
yeah. So this is yeah. This is just about the Antichrist.
Yeah, that's true. Do you think that they should have made Damien kinda have, like, any, like, demony looks to him ever?
No, no,
No?
no. I think they did just enough stuff in it because I feel like I said before, they wanted to keep this movie as real to real our world as possible. Like anything with like witches and like hooves and all this other stuff. Like keep that out of it.
Yeah.
Keep any like things that pop up on the screen. Keep it very in our world, and it'll just be just as scary at the end.
No, that's true. One thing I just wanted to say too, when Damien obviously hits the woman off of or hits his mother and she falls,
Hmm.
that woman throughout the entire movie has basically set the precedence that like I don't do anything. I have servants that dress my kids. We don't drive ourselves. We don't do anything. Why is she doing that in like the most dangerous way possible? Like she doesn't have be like, hey, miss, can you like water these flowers or whatever? Like I don't want to do this.
Yeah, it's like I have everyone doing my laundry, cooking. I'm gonna do the most dangerous chore I can
Yeah,
think of.
in my house.
Let me clean the gutters too, in a tall ladder.
Yeah, so they've got all these, like, housemaids and stuff, and then,
That's you know what? This movie's ridiculous.
no, I
Good
know.
point, Alex.
No, but
This
I
movie
love
makes
it
no sense.
the one part when it's like the older woman comes up with Miss Baylock, like, "I'll have someone send for your things." I'm like, what is this?" They have somebody that walks you up the stairs, then has someone else that sends for your things. I was like, they are rich. They are freaking
Yeah.
rich.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Birthday parties with merry-go-rounds and
you're Billy
mini
Madison.
roller coaster things, like Billy Madison.
But yeah, I guess the last thing I just wanna say too about the party, and it's kinda has a similar feeling to a lot of, like, '70s movies, and the one that reminded me of was The Godfather with the wedding or whatever. A lot of the times back in those days, like, I felt like any of the, like, big event scenes, the same thing with, like, the deer hunter with that wedding scene, it's just, like, pandemonium. Like, I feel like I don't even know what the hell I'm supposed to be, like, focusing on when they show stuff like that.
I think that's probably what it was like filming it too.
Right. It just feels like there's
So,
no direction, like, there's just kind of, like, just capturing the essence of what's happening, but, like, you don't really know, like, "Huh, what am I really supposed to be paying attention right now?" Except for, like, it's crazy.
it's like, Richard, the jugglers are only here for 10 more minutes. You gotta get a shot of the jugglers." The it's like, "Oh, the flame, the guy, like, oh," then he's, like, running around with the camera. Yeah, no, that's a good point. That happens all the time
But
in
not
movies.
not as much anymore. It feels like I
No.
mean, I've been on a decent amount of sets, even the background extras have a director that's like, "Okay, you're gonna walk in
Yeah.
at this part, you're gonna do" so it's, like, so
It's
calculated now.
way more, like, set out, like, scheduled.
Right, well, everything. Yeah, the background extras are all specifically directed out where when I watch this and The Godfather and Deer Hunter and any older kinda, like, movies that have big events happening, they literally just seem like actual craziness, like, almost like a
Yeah.
documentary more so than a production.
Yeah.
Anyways, just something weird I noticed. Do you have anything else about the Omen, Eric?
No, that's probably it. 1976, the bicentennial.
Yeah,
Great year. Great year for film.
I know, right before Star Wars, right before the world changed?
Yeah, 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 for sure.
Also, speaking of 76, Eric, this is our 75th episode.
Ah, so close. So
It's
close.
kinda crazy, though. I mean, this is
Yeah.
75, man. Look at
It
us.
would be weird if it was the 66th episode. I'd be like, "Okay, we're done. That's it for the podcast. Like, we're
Yeah,
done."
that's an actual omen. But, yeah, so, hey, just wanna say, good job, man. Good job.
You're doing great, Alec. You're doing great.
You're killing it. You're killing it, Eric.
No, you are, man. I do this for you.
It's all for you, Eric. It's all for you. All right, well, what do you say? Spin the wheel.
All right, let's spin the wheel. Let's spin the wheel. Spinning. The Shining.
Ooh.
Classic. Ooh.
I believe we have Dominic Berger for this one. I need to double check.
Excellent.
Yeah, he's.
Have you seen Doctor Sleep yet?
I have.
I have not. So I kind of, I might want to knock both those out. Even though we're talking about The Shining, I just want to see both.
I think you should. should. Yeah, I got to double check the guest, but I'm fairly certain it's Dominic, and he's a big Stephen King fan, so it'd be good to have him back.
Great.
All right. Well, all right, perfect. We'll see everybody next week for The Shining.
Woo!